Do you think I need a microphone or you can hear me? Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
My name is Olivier Serot Almeras. I'm the Consul General of France here at the French Embassy. And I want to tell you that it's a real pleasure for me to welcome you here this morning under this beautiful blue sky at the French Embassy. A real pleasure and a rare privilege, a great honor, Mr. Goldsticker, Olivier. In this place that we consider as dedicated to French-American friendship, in this room called Salle Tocqueville room. And Tocqueville, you know, was one of the fathers of democracy. And he used to have these words saying that there is more spirit, humanity, and intelligence in a whole assembly than in a single man. I think he was right. Ladies and gentlemen, today is a very special day for you, for me, for all of us. A very special day on Memorial Day's Eve, because we want to celebrate the strength of the friendship between our two countries by expressing our appreciation to you, Mr. Goldsticker, who through your courage, your determination, your sense of duty, of sacrifice, helped to liberate my country, France. A very special year too, because as you all know, 2015 represents the 70th anniversary of the end of the war, of the victory of the Allies, of the surrender of the Nazi forces. And 1 year after commemorating D-Day on June 6, 1944, in Normandy, where we were so proud to have the presence of President Obama. As our president, French President François Hollande, reaffirmed on that occasion, commemorations are not intended to reopen old wounds or to promote any form of nostalgia. No, they are a reminder of the hardships experienced by people. They are lessons of history. They are calls for unity, solidarity, and mobilization in the face of other issues, other threats, other challenges. I think that commemorations give today's world a special meaning and illuminate what patriotism should be. To commemorate is to speak in order to remember, to ensure that the past is not just a matter of nostalgia, but a lesson that helps us forge our destiny. In celebrating your courage, sir, we emphasize the heroism found in looking beyond oneself and one's own interests for the love of one's country and sister countries. Patriotism in the sense of having a will to live together and defend the same values. The message of 1944 and 1945, like that of every act of liberation, every struggle for freedom, is that men and women always determine their own future. It is their personal destiny, but also that of their country. Freedom, brotherhood, and democracy are the most noble values, the most noble causes, the ones to which we must devote all our strength. Let us now listen to one of your fellow veterans on that D-Day, June 6, 1944. At first, there seemed to be complete silence. I saw men some men, started chain smoking, others trying to make jokes, but in reality they were lost in their own thoughts. I saw men kneeling, praying, saying the rosary. We all knew that it was be a rough day coming, with no overtime pay. We also knew there was a good chance some of us would never see another sunrise. Oh God, what a feeling. Omaha Beach, June 6, 1944. Mr. Goldsticker, la Légion d'honneur, the Legion of Honor, is the highest French distinction. And it is comfort to you today to recognize in the presence of your friends and family all the personal sacrifices you made for the liberation of France and Europe. We, the French, know that in the darkest hours of our history, you, the American people, were there by our side. We, the French, know that the liberation of France and Europe began when the Allied armies landed on the beaches of Normandy and advanced against heavy enemy defense and climbed those deadly cliffs of Normandy. I would like to emphasize today that we know and will always remember what the price was. 60,000 American soldiers who were later raised on French soil. And the Allied cemeteries in Normandy will always remind us of those terrible days when grief from the death and destruction went hand in hand with our newfound liberty. Of course, with the war over, it was with the political support and economic support too of your country under the Marshall Plan that the European nations were able to heal their wants, rebuild their economies, and turns the ruins of war into the prosperity of peace. And during the Cold War, your country guaranteed West European security while consistently supporting the gradual integration and unification of the European continent as the best way to maintain peace and stability here and there. Ladies and gentlemen, ever since the USA appeared on the world scene, our two countries have always been friends. Friends in good weather, sometimes friends in bad weather, today in Africa or in Syria, yesterday in Libya or in Afghanistan. And all through this friendship, we will never forget that without you, the Americans, we would not have been able to maintain our freedom, to rebuild our land and our democracy. We have no right to forget this, and we will never forget it. Because this is the basis, this is the cornerstone of the friendship, of the relationship between the USA and France. And this is why you are so dear to us. This is why we feel so close to you. And believe me, each time an American soldier falls, wherever it may be in the world, France feels solidarity and compassion with your country. Mr. Goldsticker, when you arrive on the European theater of operations in May 1944, you are a bombardier navigator with the 8th U.S. Air Force, and with the 452nd Bomb Group, 728th Squadron, you fly 40 missions over France. Bombing missions in Normandy on D-Day, in Brittany Peninsula, north of France, around Paris, but also dropping supplies in the south of France for the French underground army. Then you participate in other missions during the Battle of the Bulge, also in Germany and Central Europe. For your achievement, while participating in these missions, you have been awarded by the US authorities the Distinguished Flying Cross and the Air Medal 5 times. Now this is our turn. The French authorities, the government of France, to recognize what you have done for the freedom of our country. And this is why I'm going to be very honored to present you the Medal of the French Legion of Honor, simply because you are and you remain a hero. I will now proceed with the solemn high point of this ceremony, and in the presence of each and every one of you, I will pronounce the official statement in French and in the name of the French President that will induct you into the order of the Legion d'Honneur. Shall we please stand up? Ralph Goldsticker, au nom du Président de la République, nous vous remettons les insignes de chevalier de la Légion d'honneur.
My voice, I think, may be the mic. I want to thank the French government for this honor today. I'm really proud to receive it. I'm proud to wear it. I'm glad I could do what I could to help bring France to the war. You said I flew 40 missions. I only flew 35.
Typical him.
The main mission of the Air Force was to bomb Germany so they could not wage war. But my 35 missions, 14 were into France, 13 against German targets in France. My first mission was May 27, 1944, flew into St. Valery on the French coast and bombed a gun emplacement. Of my first 6 missions before D-Day, 4 of them were in France, bombing German targets. On D-Day, in the morning, my group bombed the heavy coastal emplacements by Conul, France, right before the British troops landed. We refueled, we got bombs, and in the afternoon, we bombed Argentina inland from the beaches to try to prevent the Germans from bringing replacements in. On D-Day, after D-Day, my first mission back from Russia, we dropped supplies, as you mentioned, to the French underground fighters. It was a little different dropping from 2,000 feet for supplies and then 5 miles up, bombing from 27,000 feet. It was a nice mission. In my mind, after D-Day, the most important mission in the liberation of France was the bombing near St. Lo. On July 25th, 1944, our troops had only advanced about 20 miles inland from the beaches. They were stuck in Normandy to get through the hedgerows. That day, I think the entire Air Force bombed an area about a mile and a half wide, and 4 miles deep in front of the troops. And we were able to get our troops free, and within a month, Paris was liberated. I went into our group as a replacement.
That's fine.
Our group lost on May 12th, 1944. They had 14 out of 24 planes shot down on a mission to Brooks, Czechoslovakia. So our crew went in as a replacement. I'd like to read this. Of the 40,000 Americans killed in air operations during World War II, the 8th Air Force alone plus 26,000 airmen who were killed. Another 18,000 were wounded, 21,000 were shot down and became prisoners of war. The Air Force suffered the highest casualty of any of the armed forces. I was naive, I was. But with this Memorial Day weekend, I think we should think of all these that weren't so lucky. Starting with the Revolutionary War, where the French helped us in the Revolution, and all the wars since. We've been friends, and we always will be to fight for our freedom. I'd like to thank you and the French consul in Chicago, and Marie Claire, and my son for making this ceremony possible. And also invite all my friends, neighbors, relatives who are here. Thank you very much. Oh, by the way, when the war ended, I was teaching French cadets how to bomb in Big Springs, Texas.
This is the end of the official part of the ceremony. We are now going to share a glass of champagne.